Welcome to today's Lunch and Learn at Work session, all about stress. Stress consumes so much of our lives, and we need to have better ways of managing it because we don't want it to overwhelm us. So, today we will focus on stress. The session is brought to you by Get Moving, Get Healthy New Jersey Workforce and supported and funded by the New Jersey Prevention Network. What is stress? We know that stress is a normal part of life, and all of us have stress pretty much throughout the day. Stress can affect our bodies in a negative way. It can also affect our bodies in a positive way as well. We need to have some better strategies for how to deal with stress and how to maintain health at the same time. So, stress is a normal response. It's part of our body's um, response to things throughout our day. It's basically a reaction. Think about times when you've been startled by something and you feel that sudden stress. But then there is also times in your life, major life changes that create stress as well. And basically, stress tends to sort of wear and tear on our minds and bodies. If we have too much stress, it does tip the balance to the negative a little bit, and we can have some physical reactions to that as well. So, what we want to do is try to control our environment and deal with stress in a very positive way. What causes stress? Many things around us cause stress. We can be anxious about something, and I mentioned some of changes in life, major changes in life, like marriage, divorce, pregnancy, and so on, create incredible amounts of stress that we need to deal with. And at times, they are happy stresses, but they do put stress on our bodies. We need to know how to best deal with them. Sometimes disorganization can create stress among some people. But what's very important to note here is the physical constraints and what they have to do. These cause a tremendous amount of stress on people. Physical exhaustion because of the lack of sleep or overdoing, the lack of exercise, and an improper or unhealthy diet all contribute to your body's stress. Time constraints put stresses on people, whether they're working or not, or regardless what their age is. Deadlines and trying to multitask through a variety of projects has a lot to do with the amount of stress that you feel. Stress is everywhere, and it's all around us all of the time. In your physical environment, it could be the lights you're sitting under in your office, the brightness of them. Or have you ever had a fluorescent light in your office make a little noise that sort of gets on your nerves once in a while? Or perhaps the light blinks a little bit. These types of things can be very stressful, as well as the coolness or the heat in a room at any given time. How many times have you been at a meeting and the room is very, very cold? And it does affect your ability to concentrate because your body is being stressed by the temperature in the room. There are social interactions that create stress. I probably don't need to give you an example of any of these. You could probably give me plenty of examples in your life where people are rude to you. Perhaps you've been in a line in the supermarket and someone sort of butts up in line, and that creates some stress for you. There are lots of rules and deadlines and regulations in our lives that we must contend with, and they create stress as well. Life events are very stressful on the happy side, but also sometimes on the negative stress or distressful side. Have you ever tried to leave the house maybe, and can't find your keys in the morning? This type of stress can start your day. And have you ever felt that your day goes downhill from there? Basically, one stress can lead into another, almost like a snowball going down the road or down the hill. There are stressors that we have within our body as well, and we can't overlook these. The lifestyle choices, these are very important stressors in our life. The amount of caffeine that people consume has something to do with their stress. Caffeine increases your heart rate, which puts some stress on your body. So, if you haven't had enough sleep and you try to make up with it with caffeine, you can actually begin to put stress on your body. And some people do this day after day. The way we talk to ourselves in our minds is also a very important stressor. Sometimes we're very critical of ourselves and we tend to think in a pessimistic sort of way. We need to learn to control this and let it not get out of hand and overwhelm us because it puts stress on us. How about the types of thinking that you're doing? Maybe you get stuck in a very rigid way of wanting to maintain your day, very rigid schedule. And if one little thing throws you off, you're tremendously stressed for the day. We need to have some strategies for reducing that amount of stress. When it comes to personality traits, no doubt you know some people, maybe it's you, who is a perfectionist or a workaholic. And you can just imagine how these people put stress on themselves every single day to do their best, to be their best, to be on time, to make other people happy as well. Did you know that there is healthy stress? It's called eustress. And eustress is sort of gets your body going in a very healthy sort of a way. And we have a pretty good capacity as humans to deal with this type of stress because this is considered a healthy stress. I often use the example of my daughter that sometimes likes to participate in running events or mini triathlons or that type of thing. Imagine the stress you put on your body when you make the decision to participate in something like that. On the screen, we see a bicycle race. It takes tremendous training to be prepared for a race or a competition like that or a running event. So you basically put that stress on yourself to be in a certain physical fitness level at a certain date, to be able to maintain the amount of running and energy level you have. So, competitive situations put you in a healthy stress situation unless you overdo and you put yourself in too many of these situations. So, there is a healthy stress. There is also an unhealthy stress, and you know this word, distress. We may be in a distressful situation when the amount of stress is overwhelming to us and our body begins to respond in a negative sort of way. I mean, you see the little person here on the screen, you can tell he's being stressed. He is breaking out in a sweat, he's clasping his hands, he seems to be frustrated. So, distress comes from a variety of situations every day in our lives. It could be our work environment. So, if it's the sights and sounds in the office that are bothersome to you, these can be stressful, or it could be in a situation where you fear for personal injury. Distress is a stress that happens sometimes very quickly, and sometimes it builds up over time as well. How do we know when stress is becoming overwhelming? Well, there are some signs for this, and you can see on the list that the signs range from fatigue to memory problems. There are lots of signs that stress is getting the best of you or accumulating. Remember, I said it's like that snowball rolling down the hill? Stress can overwhelm people and cause some physical situations to happen to you. So, what we need to do is learn how to control stress that comes from these types of situations. Everybody handles stress differently. This is the good news, and it's also the bad news. Some people have a greater capacity for handling stress than other people do. So, really, what determines how you handle stress? Well, you can see that the social support you get from friends or family, if you have someone to talk to about what's stressing you, sometimes this helps you to feel better. But your health also has a lot to do with how you deal with stress. So, if you're a very healthy person and you maintain your optimum health, then you are able to deal with stress better than some other people can. But personality traits enter the picture as well as gender and your self esteem. All have something to do with the amount of stress that you have placed on you every day in your life. Do we cause our own stress? Absolutely, we do. And research shows that about 75% of the stress that we feel, we create ourselves. Imagine that. Now, this is where we can actually make a difference in how we're feeling throughout the day and how we can deal with stress. So, we want to recognize events that take place in our lives or stressors and learn how to cope with them. Stress is physical. And you can see in this graphic that stress can affect your muscles, your breathing, have other effects, headaches, nausea, sleep disturbances. And you can see the list of how stress affects your body. If you don't learn to control stress, it will control you. So try to make a difference in how you are dealing with stress. And here are some ideas about how to do that. Don't forget, emotional changes causes stress too. When we get frustrated or angry, we have stress placed on us, and sometimes those stresses sort of take over and they affect our mood and how we're feeling. They even can cause depression and changes in our appetite. We need to learn to control stress before it controls us. So let's get down to some coping strategies. There are some things you can do to control stress. If you are stressed, believe it or not, physical activity can help relieve your stress. If you are stressed, you can take a walk to help to control your stress. It will help you to feel a little bit better. Nutrition can't be overlooked because your diet, the amount of nutrients you're consuming, have a lot to do with how your body deals with stress. And we'll talk about some foods that increase your level of stress and can reduce your level of stress in just a minute. But also, we need to think about how we deal emotionally with stress. We need to find our relaxation therapies. A good friend of mine often talks about taking 5-minute vacations. And what that means to her, and it works for her very well, is that she, may sit quietly, sort of block out everything, and just think and be mindful of herself for 5 minutes. And that does help to calm you down as well. You can develop support systems, friends, neighbors, colleagues that you can talk to. Now, a lot of people do their talking online, and maybe that helps to relieve some stress for them. But don't overlook humor. Laughter helps to reduce stress in your life. Look for opportunities to play games, enjoy group activities where you will include laughter because that is the great stress reducer. How about exercise? Exercise helps your body return to normal after you're stressed. That's why I said taking a walk is a simple solution to resolving stress in your body. But you can also enjoy some of these other activities, running, swimming, biking, and hiking, that will help you to reduce stress. Maybe taking a walk every day will help you. Perhaps taking a walk as your lunchtime or during a break during the day can help to reduce your stress level. What you do need to do is stay away from involvement in negative activities because these will only increase your level of stress. Engage in healthy activities and you can reduce your level of stress. What about food that contributes to your level of stress? Well, this is very important. There are foods that increase your heart rate, your blood sugar level, your blood pressure, and your adrenaline that actually put stress on your body. Now, some people can handle this better than others, but some people have to be very careful about the amount of caffeine that they consume in a day because this increases your body's level of stress. Junk food and fast food increase your level of stress because they are usually high in sodium or salt, high in sugar, and high in fat. And all of those foods increase the level of stress in your body. So it makes sense that soft drink and sodas will increase your stress as well. If you're drinking several soft drinks in a day, you've consumed an incredible amount of sugar, and this puts stress on your body as well. Alcohol also increases your level of stress. When I speak to people at meetings about this, they laugh because they think, well, alcohol is what I do to reduce my stress. But drinking alcohol only temporarily relieves your stress because the alcohol and its effects on your body actually puts stress on your body. So let's talk about foods that are helpful in relieving stress. We need to get some foods into our diet every day that help us to deal with stress. And you can see that some vitamins and minerals are very important here. Fresh, leafy green vegetables are very important to reducing stress. Having that very healthy salad may help you reduce work stress in the middle of your day. Fresh fruits, and look for opportunities when you're making a salad to include as many fruits and vegetables in that salad as well, because this will help you relieve some stress and also give you a boost of energy for later in the day. Soups, in particular, that are homemade, where you can control the amount of sodium, can be very helpful. You know, this is a comfort food. Well, as long as it isn't high in sodium and fat, it can comfort you. So think about making some soups at home and taking them to work for lunch. Yogurt and skim milk or low fat calcium foods can also help to reduce your stress, as well as fish. Now, I'm not talking about fried fish because that will actually increase the stress in your body, but I'm talking about fresh cooked uh, fish that is not fried. Some people enjoy herbal products to relieve stress. For example, chamomile tea is very popular in terms of relieving stress for some people. The bottom line is that it's all about balancing health and physical activity. You have to have healthy foods and a healthy amount of physical activity to maintain your healthy lifestyles. What you need to think about is what are the stressors in your day that put you over the top? And think about strategies that you can start to employ to help you minimize the amount of stress on your body. The key is diet, physical activity, and managing your stress. So look for ways to manage your stress to maintain that healthy lifestyle that you enjoy. Thank you for participating in today's Lunch and Learn series, and please look forward to more Lunch and Learn series in the future.